Welcome back, you filthy exiles. So I got a few comments saying that people didn't like my camera angle, and we'll try a different one because I have a second camera. But anyway, so alright, PoE 2 is delayed by 38 days or 3 more weeks on top of the 2 weeks, so 5 weeks from now. So what are we going to play in that time? What do we do? Do we just sit around and do nothing? Do we clean the house? Or do we find other games that we could play in the meantime? Fortunately, there's some really good stuff coming out over the next few months, which I'm really glad. I'm sort of glad that now I get to play, because yeah, it's an opportunity to finish some old games, maybe start a new tune in PoE 2, PoE 1. But anyway, let's talk about that. Let's dig into that topic. But yeah, let's get into the video. Okay, so the first game worth checking out is actually a mod, and it is called Project Diablo 2, and Season 10, I believe, was set to come out on the 25th of October, so it only just came out a few days ago. And basically what this is a total overhaul to the original Diablo 2 game, but, pardon me, community-led, so they've changed stashes, they've changed skills, it's got an endgame mapping system. Basically, anything and everything that you can imagine that should have been done to Diablo 2 has been done, and I believe it's also got an upscaling of the resolution as well, so you can play it on full screen on whatever your current iteration of PC is. Now, the stipulations of this is you do need a copy of Diablo 2 and Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction from memory, and then basically you just go to the website, and I'll put a link in the description, which leads you to the mod that you can download, then apply to the game. As with other game mods for Diablo 2, like Path of Diablo and whatnot. But yeah, this is probably one of the best Diablo 2 mods now on the market, and yeah, it has seasons. So as I said, it's up to season 10, and just like Path of Exile or like seasons with the original Diablo games, that resets, and there's a new theme to it. It's really cool. Check it out. It's worth having a look at. I believe their website, when I checked at the time making this video, was down, so it's likely that it's getting a bit swamped at the moment with people looking for something to play. But yeah, if you want to get into something and you like the nostalgia of the old Diablo 2 and you don't want to play Diablo 2 Resurrected, which I don't think is really getting serviced anymore by Blizzard, then this game is definitely being a community-run project, and it is extremely good. New build iterations and new build types. They patch the character skills and all the character archetypes as well. There's a lot of changes that are consistently being made to this. So yeah, definitely a mod of an old school game that you could check out while you're waiting for Path of Exile 2 to catch up. Okay, so the next game that I'm super keen on is Inquisitor Martyr, which is on Steam. Now, it has really positive reviews. It is a bit of an older ARPG now, but funnily enough, they're adding a new Hierophant class in as of November 12, which allows you to control and upgrade what's called a retinue. Now, this is just like a band of bros that you level up over time to cause havoc around you. It's very different to a summoner class, which is the tech priest, which they added in a fair few years ago. But anyway, this game is really good, especially with all the stuff about Space Marine 2. This basically plays very similarly to like Diablo 2 or Path of Exile, except it's Warhammer and not like the bad Warhammer ARPG, which came out with Age of Sigmar a fair few years ago, which was horrible. But there is an endgame system in this. You do get like shotguns and all sorts of stuff, battle hammers. You can play different classes. Now, earlier this year, they did release a total offline mode as well, so you can play this game without being online, which is fantastic. And on top of that, you've got access to all the seasons, and you can choose whichever season you want. They call it Season Journey. But I played through this game, and it was really, really good. It's just like one of those games that people don't really focus on anymore. Now, it's not free, you've got to pay for it, and it's up to you whether or not you want to invest into a game or not. I'm not going to tell you what you should and shouldn't do. I actually think this game's really good and is worth the time and worth the money that you spend on it. If you had like 100, 200 hours into it, something like that, it's probably going to be a lot of fun. And if you can play it with friends, even better. And the fact that you can play it offline is absolutely fantastic as well. So if you're doing handheld gaming, this is pretty much the game for you. But yeah, check it out if you're looking for something to sort of tinker around with. I'm actually going to probably load this up on stream myself because I'm really keen to play anything where I get a retinue that follows me around and I get to kill Tyranids. Now, the next game is actually pretty unexpected, and it is Grim Dawn. Now, for anyone who didn't know, Grim Dawn, they never really stopped updating. They've just been progressively releasing content for it. And even as of recent of 20 June this year, they basically released an enormous content overhaul, which was patch 1.2.1. So the game is totally different, but there's a reason why I'm actually mentioning it on this list. Now, it is a fantastic game. It's based on the old TQ engine, or Titan Quest engine. Obviously, we know Titan Quest 2 is on its way. But they're actually releasing a new expansion for Grim Dawn in early 2025, which is called the Fangs of Astrakhan, which includes the Berserker class and a new Ascendant feature, which I would say is probably very similar to Path of Exile for all the existing character archetypes. And then basically there's a ton of new content that's going to get introduced into the game beyond that, and new quest lines and things like that. If you are looking for a really good ARPG, it's not as polished, it doesn't look as pretty as what Path of Exile does or other more current ARPGs look. However, it is a fantastic ARPG and worth your time and efforts, and there's an expansion looming just around the corner as well. So, you know, it's probably a good time to check it out if you are just sort of waiting for PoE 2 or whatnot. This could be a good side game to have, just to have a bit of fun with, but definitely I would recommend. I have played this game for many, many hours. It's really cheap on Steam as well. It's got great user feedback, and at the end of the day, it's something different. And also, it's just really satisfying to play this game for some reason. There are some mods you can get for it as well. So there was like a Diablo 2 mod that I played a long time for it. But yeah, check it out if you have some free time and you want to try something different. This is definitely worth having a look at. Okay, so the next game I'll put on this list actually got a new season on the 24th of October, and that is Torchlight Infinite. Now, I'm always been sort of skeptical about this game, but from what I can see, it actually looks like it's got a fairly good amount of community development moving forwards from the dev. And yeah, basically looks like a hell of a lot of fun. Now, obviously, the thing that I've always had with this game is it looks like a mobile game, but they've made changes to the UI system, and it does look a lot better than when I first tried it when it first came out. And basically, they overhauled a hell of a lot of systems as part of the Season 6 launch. So the end game's been readjusted, there's been a lot of quality life being carried out with the game as well. So it's probably drastically different to what you might have played in the past as well with Season 6 launching. The other thing is there's a new hero, because they have a hero system in Torchlight Infinite. But yeah, it might be worth a look at if you haven't played it before. It could be something worth sort of drawing down to and checking out and having a bit of fun. The gameplay definitely looks hectic, and I'm sort of tempted to give it a crack again myself. But yeah, this would be number 4 on the list if you were looking for something. As I said, brand new season from 24th of October. It's only 6 days ago, so basically, yeah, it's fresh and new in season. And yeah, this would be another game I'd probably recommend at this stage while you're waiting for PoE 2. Now, the last thing that I recommend if you're just totally bored and totally run out of ideas for things to do is mini painting and 3D printing. And I know this isn't an ARPG, but this will take up hours and hours of your time, and quite frankly is one of the coolest things you'll ever do. But yeah, if you want to do something that is non-video game related in the lead up to Path of Exile 2, then I would recommend doing this. I do this in my off time outside of streaming and work and everything else. I usually try and do it for a few hours a week and paint at least like 1 mini a week is generally the goal, and try a new paint style and or try new methods. There's tons of tutorials online that I generally have a look at and follow that you can also follow along with. And yeah, just overall, just an enjoyable hobby. Not a cheap hobby to get into, but definitely a lot of fun. The printer that you saw there is a Creality K1, which I just got in the other day, and it's freaking awesome. It's like out of a sci-fi movie. But anyway, if you want to try something and maybe you're just totally tired of gaming and sometimes you need to take a walk back and just do something different, then hobby painting is definitely a great hobby to pick up. And yeah, it's just as fun as sitting there and playing, you know, Path of Exile at the end of the day. But yeah, that could be another thing that you could look at in the lead up to PoE 2 since it's been delayed out further. Okay, so hopefully that gives you some ideas on what you could do while you wait for PoE 2 due to the unfortunate news of the delay. But yeah, if you like this type of video, don't forget to like and sub to the channel, and I'll be on Twitch. I'm probably going to start a new PoE 1 character as well. I really want to play a Seringbon Hierophant. I've been wanting to do that for many leagues, but never really had the time or, you know, never really thought about it too much. I do have a template for a build sort of in the background that I can retrofit to the current 3.25 League. And you know what? Why not? We might as well. Anyway, I'll put links to everything in the description below, and I will see you guys next time.